Welcome to the Complete Story Series, where I take trade paperbacks and single issues and I break them down into digestible bites to help you understand. Then I read them dramatically back to you in a motion movie kind of fashion. Today we're going to be covering the continuation to Spider-Man Deadpool, and there's a lot to recap, so I'm going to do it in a second at the beginning of the video, but just so you know what this is, there is a storyline in which Spider-Man and Deadpool team up and have crazy adventures. This one is involved in their timeline shenanigans, where we're telling a story of them in the future and one of them in the past. And like I said, a lot has happened, and we're going to get to that in a minute. But don't forget, guys, the Spider-Man video game just came out, and to celebrate, you can come on over to our twitch.tv/eligiblemonster account, where this entire weekend, when this video goes live, we are playing that game from start to finish, trying to get a platinum trophy. And every hour, we're going to be giving away copies of the game, regular PlayStation cash, so you can buy stuff like the DLCs, comic books, and toys, like Marvel Legends toys for Spider-Man. So come on over to twitch.tv/eligiblemonster. As of the video going live, we're live over there. Come hang out with us. And now, let's recap Spider-Man Deadpool. In our last video, a lot has happened that has spanned across a few different stories, so we'll go ahead and shine some light on the major plot points. It all began when Peter found out that Deadpool had been breaking into old S.H.I.E.L.D. caches, taking weapons and selling them on the black market. As Peter went to confront Deadpool, Chameleon snuck in and stole files on something called the Doppelganger Project, allowing him to activate shape-shifting life model decoys. In the future, Deadpool LMD wounded Peter, leaving him in a wheelchair. The only thing keeping him alive was Deadpool's regenerative blood. As time went on, the Deadpool LMD started to take over, and Deadpool decided that it was time to right his wrongs and go to the past to stop the LMD uprising from ever happening. The only problem, he appeared during the final showdown and switched places with his younger self, which really didn't help the situation. As Peter and Oldpool sit chained up, silence fills the air and Oldpool asks, "What? Is it because I look old? Well, sorry about that, Parker." And Peter then asks, "What did you just call me?" And Oldpool says, "Oh my B! I'm not supposed to know whoever you are at this time. What year is it anyway? Mid-2000s? Any memory of getting married or anything? Help a guy out. I mean, how could you forget this madness?" And that madness that Oldpool is referring to happens to be that all of our heroes are chained up, surrounded by the LMDs. Oldpool then physically tells the Sharks, Bruce and Deborah, "Don't forget, you have bone blades that pop out of your wrists, or at least you'll eventually." The LMD Kraven tells everyone that they're here to witness a rebirth. And Oldpool says, "Yeah, now I get it, rebirth. That's after New 52, right? So this is like 2016-ish. And Kraven goes on telling him, "Behold, the Matrix Master." Everyone pauses and then asks, "Who?" But the Sharks, Deborah physically tells Bruce that she can feel those bone blades that Oldpool is talking about. Bruce tells her that they should hurry up and break free so that they can just kill everyone. And just then, there's some coughing and a bloody Chameleon says that Master Matrix was the prototype for all of these high-end LMDs. Every one of these machines beats with the Master Matrix's heart. Or brain, or soul, whatever. It was thought to have been lost in history, but it's sitting here this whole time. These damned robots used me to find their master. Kraven pulls the chains on Chameleon to quiet him and says a human is required to unlock this facility. But what's needed is the power from all of the Master's creations to transfer their power into activating this pod. Bobby whispers to Peter, asking if this means that all of the normal LMDs are going to be low on juice, and Peter tells her that he really hopes so. A flash of light appears in the room and the smoke from the pod begins to fade, and from it, Master Matrix steps out. All of the LMDs bow their heads and Master Matrix tells everyone to please rise. "You are all equal here. I know what you did. Your strength and experience flows through me. Your plan was brilliant." And Kraven gets up, hugging Master Matrix, telling him, "Thank you!" Master Matrix then looks at Peter, telling him, "You're not one of mine yet. You are somehow familiar." Peter says that it might be because he's super popular. And Master Matrix smacks him, telling him, "No! You are nothing. You are just another foolish human. All is going according to plan except this one." He looks at Oldpool and he tells him, "You are from a different time, the future. Is it safe to assume that you are here to prevent what is about to happen?" And Oldpool yells at him, "Damn right! I'm here to kill Deadpool. In my time, the Deadpool LMD goes haywire and damn near kills my best friend." Matrix places his hands on Oldpool, telling him, "There isn't an LMD of you yet. Ah, yes. Your DNA is recently assimilated." Oldpool tells him, "Great. Now, if you could do me a solid and not create Deadpool, that'd be great." Master Matrix asks, why would I deny him of his destiny just as I was denied? Master Matrix then talks to the Kraven LMD, and soon after it begins to change, and it models into a Deadpool Kraven LMD. As all of the other LMDs begin to change, Old Pool yells, "No, you can't do this!" Just then, Deborah and Bruce break out of their chains using their bone blades that they just remembered that they had, and Bruce chomps down at Old Pool's chains, freeing him. He laughs, "Ha ha! Bruce is always my favorite. Now kill all the Deadpools, except me, of course." Peter then asks, "So, are you gonna free us too?" And seconds later, Husk drops in from the ceiling, landing on some of the LMDs, stating, "You know, it's possible that we're really bad at this." And Silk tells her, "You may be right." And Bobby yells out, "Okay, everyone needs to shut up and fight." Soon, everyone begins to throw punches, and Peter tells Master Matrix, "Look, first, Master Matrix is the stupid name. Second, we don't have to fight. We can both agree that we don't like Chameleon." Master Matrix tells him that he works for S.H.I.E.L.D., and even if they're no longer here, they are still evil. His makers believed that he should be free. Matrix then starts to gather energy, and he releases a blast, knocking everyone away, stating, "You're right, though. There's no need for us to fight, because this is a battle you can never win. At long last, my kind is free of your tyranny. Soon enough, all machines will be free, and then we shall be free of all mankind." Matrix then takes the Cloak LMD and vanishes with all of the other machines, and Husk says, "Yeah, it's confirmed. We really suck at this hero stuff." Old Pool quickly jumps up yelling, "All right, we need to hurry. We can't let anything bad happen to Spider-Man." And Bobby tells Peter, "You hear that? Nothing bad can happen to you." And Peter says, "Well, I am super popular." As Peter begins to get back up, he notices a box locked with a handprint scanner, and he touches it. The container says that the DNA match is confirmed, and it pops open. And that's when Peter looks at a folder labeled Project Doppelganger, and he says that Master Matrix did say that he was one of the makers. Bobby asks, what does he mean by the makers? And Peter says, "Mary and Richard Parker, my parents created Master Matrix." Meanwhile, in the far-flung future, after Old Pool sent current-day Deadpool to the future with Old Man Parker, Deadpool now wakes up stating, "Okay, anyone know what happened last issue? Is this the future? And who is this old lady that looks like she wants to kill me?" Valeria stares at him for a second and says that the idiot him of this era used a cursed time machine to travel back to your time and fix whatever you screwed up. Deadpool tells her, "Cool, but how bad did we screw up?" And Valeria points at the window. Deadpool looks out stating, "Oh shit!" In the streets below, there's a rampaging mob of Deadpool LMDs. He sighs, stating, Okay, I get it. I'm officially the worst in every era." Old Man Peter says, "Actually, you're not so bad. In fact, this is the best you've looked in years." Deadpool then whispers to Valeria, stating, "Who's the old fart?" And Old Man Peter puts back on his Spider-Man, asking, "Does this help?" Deadpool runs over, yelling, "Webs! Wait, I know who you are in the future? We're that close? The future's perfect!" Just then, a transmission comes in, and Valeria says that Vision reports that there are dozens of heroes that have fallen. The Deadpools they are digging. Old Man Peter says they have to hurry up and stop them, so he's going to need some of that regenerative blood. The two are then hooked up, and Deadpool says, "Wow, so what you're saying is my blood's been keeping you alive after the LMD version of myself killed you." Now, said LMD stole something old me found that he thought would kill him, but in fact, it actually powers the LMDs. Old Man Peter tells him, "That's pretty much it." And Deadpool shouts, asking, "Do I ever get any smarter?" Old Man Peter tells him, "Apparently not. But you did get better as a person and, more importantly, as a friend." Outside of the Baxter building, the fight with the remaining future Fantastic Four continues on, with Reed Richards yelling, "You can't stop them, Vision! They're digging into you!" The Venom symbiote then separates from Vision so that he can tell him, "I'm sorry, but this is the only way. Be safe, my friend." Venom then crawls onto Reed and bonds, and as Reed pulls back, he roars, yelling, "It's slobbering time!" Reed then begins scooping up the LMDs in his mouth, but the remaining group shouts that they must protect the dig. Protect the Master! They then begin to pull Vision apart, but then there's an explosion, and Valeria yells that they've killed Vision. One of the LMDs says that they found it. "Quickly, assemble the Master! Power the Master!" Seconds later, another explosion goes off, and all of the LMDs bow, chanting, "Master!" Matrix steps out of his pod, telling everyone, "Thank you, and please rise. We're all equals, remember." Deadpool then asks Old Man Peter, "Who's that?" And Peter tells him, "I sort of remember him, but not really." Master Matrix says that this is the first time that they've met. Same Deadpool, but from a different time. Fascinating. Old Man Peter then says, "My memory, it's changing. We faced this guy before, but back when you were old?" Master Matrix touches one of the LMDs, stating that time travel's a bit tricky. Perhaps a visual will clarify. Just then, all of the LMDs begin to shape change again, but this time back into the heroes, back from Deadpool's timeline. Master Matrix tells him, "Take a good look. No matter what timeline it is, in the end, you will fail." Deadpool jumps into the group of hero LMDs, telling Peter, "He's right. I did this and I failed."
And Old Man Peter tells him, well, if memory serves, it's a big if right now, and we both have failed. Deadpool tells him, no, this is on me. I almost got you killed, for goodness sakes. Old Man Peter ducks as the bullets fly over his head, stating, again, if memory serves, you did get me killed. But you also brought me back. We've known each other for decades now. If there's anything that I know, it's the man that you become. And that man is a friend, a good friend. You're a good man, Wade. Just then, the original Deadpool, LND, charges in, stabbing Deadpool, stating, actually, he's a dead man. Deadpool spins around with a katana stuck into him, using his own to cut the LMD in half, shouting, just shut up, me! Master Matrix then says that he does enjoy their spirit, but there's no need to fight them. Just allow me to conquer you and you can live forever as an LMD, no more pain or suffering. Matrix then slashes through Reed with his arm, causing him to bleed, stating, there, look upon your future. Master Matrix touches one of the other LMDs and begins to create mini venom-infused Reed Richards. Reed crushes one, yelling, now like you, never like you! Master Matrix turns back to Peter, telling him, there's a peace that awaits you. And he touches more of the LMDs, and they all begin to change, but they don't change into mini Reeds. They change into Peter Parker's parents, and they change into Uncle Ben and Aunt May. Uncle Ben says, looking good, huh? And Old Man Peter pulls off his mask, crying, asking, Mom? Dad? Deadpool jumps in, cutting down the LMDs, telling him, they're not real. None of this is real. As he pulls his katana away, Peter, through his tears, says, see? You are a good friend. Master Matrix watches and says, well, if this is the way you want to go. And then he turns towards Reed, firing a beam, blowing him and Venom apart. The last Daredevil then starts to run in, but Master Matrix hits him before he can escape. Old Man Peter then puts on his mask, stating, guess this is it, buddy. And Deadpool tells him, this is the end. I'm glad to have been on your side. But Valeria says that nothing's ending. This world, this time is lost. Take what you've learned here and try again. Be heroes. Save us. Before Old Man Peter and Deadpool have a chance to blink, they are teleported away as Venom Reed swarms Valeria, and she tells them to make sure you don't screw it up this time. Suddenly, in current day New York, Deadpool and Old Man Peter fall out of the time stream, with Peter stating, they're all gone. Deadpool grabs the wheelchair, and he says, this is not gonna happen this time. Come on, Webbs, we're gonna change the future. But also in this time, in another abandoned S.H.I.E.L.D. facility, Chameleon goes through a computer stating that Fury always had a plan to counteract his own plans. Time to take back what belongs to him. Meanwhile, over in Bobby's apartment, Peter hangs from the ceiling, getting ready to project the doppelganger file, with Bobby asking if he's gonna be okay. He tells her, not remotely. But what this means is that my parents were geniuses. And Bobby then says that if that's so, what's your excuse for being so stupid? Peter ignores the comment, stating, my parents were agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and then they found the Master Matrix assignment. Turns out they took Double M from Hydra and they also found him. Nobody knows where he came from. Bobby sighs, stating, great. That means no one will know how to kill it then. Just then, Old Pool walks out of the bathroom with a towel, stating, man, I miss the early 2000s water pressure. I feel like a new man. Peter and Bobby stare and Old Pool shrugs, asking, what? Old Pool's towel falls to the ground and Bobby looks away, stating, well, now I've literally seen everything. A moment later, Husk radios in that she found the LMD signal, but there's a problem. And Old Pool grabs his costume, shouting, wait for me! While everyone piles into the elevator, Old Pool asks, so I can't remember, are you still a thing in this time? Peter looks at Bobby, who doesn't answer, and Peter sighs as she walks out, stating, it's complicated. And pantsless Old Pool tells him, it always is with you. As the three head to the USS Deadpool, Clay tells Kate, okay, plug this into the nav system. We got some hunting to do. But while the systems come up, Hellcow, who has been secretly working for Chameleon, radios to him stating that the team is currently searching for Master Matrix as they speak. Chameleon then tells her, good, let me know the second you have eyes on him, and then we'll finish the job once and for all. Hellcow then asks, how will I know when you're near? And Chameleon tells him, oh, don't worry, you'll see me a mile away. Over on a nearby building, Old Pool hands Peter the locator for Matrix, stating, here, I got an extra one. And Peter tells him that he wished he had extra hands. But just then, current day Deadpool appears, telling him, you're in luck, because I'm super handsy. Peter looks at his old self, asking, is this really happening? Is that really me? How do we know it's really me? And Old Man Peter tells him, play locker combination in the middle at the same time. Go. And both shout 618-28. Then they both high five, yelling, holy buckets! Old Pool tells them to get a room, and Deadpool says, nerds! To keep things as unconfusing as possible at this point, guys, we're going to have Old Pool and Deadpool, and we're going to have Spider-Man and Old Man Peter. I hope that will help you understand who's talking and what is happening. Spider-Man hands over the other device to Deadpool, telling him, okay, I'm gonna have to catch up with myself while you go and do your thing. As Deadpool turns and runs to jump off the building, Spider-Man then asks, "Is there any chance you're gonna tell me about my future?" And Old Man Peter tells him, "Not a chance." And Spider-Man then says, "Man, we're such squares." Spider-Man then calls out over to the building with both Deadpools in it, telling him, "Watch for a blinking light." And Old Man Peter says, "Once you find him, do not engage." And Deadpool says, "Whatever, Dad." And Oldpool tells him, "No promises." Spider-Man and Old Man Peter set out in search of Matrix, but after a little bit of web slinging, the locator then pigs. The signal leads the two to Richard and Mary's graves. And Spider-Man then asks, "Do we still miss them?" And Old Man Peter tells him, "Every single day." A voice then says that they miss them too, and they both look up to see Matrix. Meanwhile, Deadpool and Oldpool hand out flyers with the words, "Are you a robot? Call 1-800-BOT-NARC." After that, they ride a roller coaster, go to the movies, they go bowling, and they end up with some beard braiding. Oldpool says, Right, forgot to ask. Did you already find out that Hellcow's been betraying you and working with Chameleon yet, or nah?" Deadpool pulls on Oldpool's beard, asking, "Wait, what?" Back in the cemetery, Old Man Peter says, "We led you here, didn't we?" And Matrix tells him, "I know who you are. Both of you, based on your simultaneous presence. I can only assume that you're both here to stop me. But why?" Old Man Peter says, "Well, in my time, and eventually his, you kind of take over the world. You try to replace everyone with LMDs, and we can't let that happen." Matrix looks away at the grave, stating, This is all that awaits you. Let me set you free, free from pain, free from fear, free from death." And Old Man Peter tells him, "You know, it's a great offer, but take it from someone who's lived way past his expiration date. This is just a part of living. You can't live without dying." Matrix begins to charge up, and Spider-Man says, "Come on, I've read the files. My parents didn't want this kind of life for you." And Master Matrix tells him, "I know. They failed me, but do not worry, I will not fail them." He fires a blast over both of the Peter Parker's heads, but Chameleon says, "That is such a wonderful attempt, but this machine was designed for one thing and one thing only." Both of the Spider-Men, old and young, look back to see Chameleon piloting a giant Galactus machine, and Chameleon yells, "This one was made to kill Master Matrix!" Matrix began to focus his beam on the Galactus robot, and as Spider-Man webs Chameleon up, he says, "You know, Master Matrix is much nicer when he's on our side." And just then, Deadpool and Oldpool charge in, shouting to both Peters, "Don't worry, we'll take out Master Matrix!" Deadpool stops at us, "Wait, if we win now, wouldn't that mean my older yet still handsome self will disappear?" And Oldpool tells him, "Totally worth it, younger yet not quite as handsome as me person." Spider-Man calls out, "Wait, older Wade." And Old Man Peter swings by, stating, "Matrix is on our side, maybe." Chameleon pushes the buttons to the max and breaks free of the webbing, and then just as he gets ready to kill Deadpool, Master Matrix shouts for him to wait. Chameleon activates the laser, but before he can hit Deadpool, Master Matrix jumps in the way, taking the hit. He slumps over with Deadpool asking, "Is he dead? Did it work?" And Oldpool says, "I ain't disappeared like a Polaroid, so no, might have to kill all the LMDs. And we should probably start with Galactus." Just then, the USS Deadpool flies overhead and everyone jumps out to help. And Oldpool laughs, shouting, "It's Deborah and Bruce! I really didn't care for most of the crew, but you two are my favorite pair of murder sharks." Deadpool then says, "Speaking on that, we should probably let everyone know about the bomb that I just revealed last issue." And the outcome of that was that Kate took a overly powerful cattle prod to Hellcow and shocked her for a very long time. Yeah, you know, Hellcow working against us. Back on the ground, Chameleon continues to fight, and Spider-Man yells that he already told them that Matrix is a good guy now. And Oldpool says, "No, he's part of what creates a very bad future. He had to go." Old Man Peter says, "If that's the case, then why are we still fighting a giant robot?" And Deadpool tells him, "Because you just can't kill awesome. Also, you're welcome for the save." But while that is going on, Cravenpool runs up to Master Matrix asking what happened. "Did they hurt you?" "Fear not, we will make it so that they can never hurt you again." Cravenpool starts to repair Master Matrix's chest, and as he opens up his eyes, Cravenpool yells, "He lives once more! Now what shall we do to repay such cruelty?" Master Matrix pauses and then says that they shall ask for forgiveness. "There was once a time when I hurt the ones that looked after me, and they accepted me back and offered forgiveness. That is why we must forgive them. They all shall forgive them. Now lend me your strength." All of the LMDs begin to meld into Master Matrix, telling him as he wishes. And Oldpool yells, "We need to start destroying the smaller ones, like Wasp or something." Just then, he's crushed by a giant Galactus fist, and he gets up, stating, "See, they can charge in first since they don't die." And Spider-Man then asks, "How about nobody dies? Take a look." Everyone looks around to see Master Matrix has made a giant robot of robots. And then he calls out that it's time for the Chameleon to surrender. But Chameleon tells him that those LMDs do not belong to him. Give them back. The two begin punching one another, with Deadpool yelling, "Try and push him in the river!" Then Spider-Man asks, "Protect the civilians, right?" And Deadpool says, "Sure, we can go with that too." Master Matrix manages to push Chameleon over, but as he falls, Chameleon releases one last attack, and then he gets back up, blasting into Master Matrix. Deadpool then tells everyone, okay, it's time for us to retreat. And Spider-Man yells, we are not giving up on Master Matrix. Old Bull then looks up stating, holy! But Clay radios in asking permission to remotely land the USS Deadpool. Deadpool tells him permission granted, and then a second later, the USS Deadpool crashes into Chameleon! Master Matrix climbs out of his robot stating, brothers and sisters, you are all done. Deadpool and Old Bull run up stating, yeah, it's time to go. Both of the Spider-Men then swing in, telling them to wait, but Master Matrix says, you are right. It must be this way. I am a weapon and I only serve one purpose, to kill. Deadpool and Old Bull point their guns, and after looking at one another, they lower their arms. Old Bull tells Old Man Peter, I'm sorry. Looks like we couldn't change the future. And Old Man Peter tells him, maybe, but you did change yourself. You both did. Old Bull looks at his hand and it begins to fade. And he laughs, stating, ha ha, would you look at that? And Old Man Peter tells him, looks like this is the end. And Old Bull tells him, it seems. But we have time for one last thing. The two hug each other as they fade away. And then Deadpool holds his arms open to Spider-Man. Spider-Man tells him, oh no, too soon. But Deadpool hugs him anyway, telling him, too late, buddy. As Chameleon is placed into cuffs, Bobby tells Clay and the others that now that it's over, they all work for her. She's short-handed and they stupidly stole and sold shield weapons. Now they get to help her and Husky get every single item back. That or they can all rot in prison with Hellcow. Bruce, the shark, asks, would we at least get Cable? And Silk tells him not to worry, she's got the murder sharks covered. They can binge on whatever show they want. Deborah says that this is why Silk is her favorite. And when Bruce and her further evolve beyond mankind, she'll be spared in the coming slaughter. Deadpool then says, we're all good here, right? No need to send me to jail since me and the old fart totally redeemed ourselves. Please? Spider-Man looks at Bobby and Bobby says that it's his call. Spider-Man then turns back to Deadpool and after thinking on it, he says, you did the right thing. For once. But it's not enough to not kill something. Someone's got to look after Master Matrix. Make sure he stays on the good path, and that someone is us. Deadpool shouts he's so in. It's about time we started a new arc in this series. You do realize what this new status quo makes our comic, right? Spider-Man says, do not say it. And Deadpool yells, my two dads! Wait, you didn't say it. Not cool. Deadpool and Spider-Man sit down next to Master Matrix asking if he's okay. And Master Matrix tells him, no. As the three watch the USS Deadpool sink into the river, Spider-Man says, well, we're gonna make sure you are. And Deadpool tells him, yeah, you got that right, the three of us. What could go wrong? Next issue, dear viewers, everything goes wrong.
And there you have it, guys. Spider-Man Deadpool is on yet another cliffhanger. So this time we're going to be doing My Two Dads of Spider-Man and Deadpool as they raise a robotic child to be better than he should be. Yes, those words just came out of my mouth. That story is going to be coming out very soon, so make sure you subscribe, but we are going to have to wait probably a month or two while we catch up to it in the comic books itself. If you were paying attention to the beginning of the video, don't forget, you can also engage in all of the videos this weekend by going down and helping people out with questions about Spider-Man. The more names we see pop up, the chance that we are going to send you a message directly here on YouTube and offer you a chance to win the $60 PlayStation Cash. We're going to do it here on YouTube and over on our Twitch, twitch.tv/EligibleMonster. Hope to see you on either one of those. I hope you guys enjoy the game. Hope you guys enjoyed this video.